So one of the things that I would love to ask is one of the bigger things that we come across in our like getting people on board with this idea is they feel like it's like the biggest sacrifice that we could ever ask them to make. In some cases, they're like, what do you mean rent out part of my house? Like, how dare you, kind of an attitude. In your experience, do you see house hacking as like this great and incredible sacrifice, or is it, I don't know, how would you describe house hacking as far as that would be concerned?
That's a good question. I would say for me, I've labeled myself as an investor for quite a while. So I think maybe that just, that's me putting my investor hat on, just saying, hey, this is me like helping cover my liability. This is me, in a sense, sacrificing a little bit. But it's like, well, if you were to go buy a duplex or a single family home that just has a legal ADU, like what's the difference?
Right.
And so I think if you can tee it up the right way, and again, I don't know from your experience, but I think it's mostly women that might have that insecurity or concern, maybe more than men. Most men, at least from my experience that I've talked to, don't seem to have a big deal with it. And maybe that's just more of a security or a concern with women. But I think, so if you can find a way to address those concerns and just say, hey, maybe it's a sacrifice, maybe it's an investment, or, whatever it is that speaks to them to help them overcome whatever those, whether it's emotional or just fear because they've never done it before. But I think when we can talk to them and say, I'm doing this or I've done this myself, this is how I got started, whatever, then I think that alleviates a lot because it's coming from a place like, hey, I've done this before, instead of here's how you do it, and with zero experience.
Right. It's kind of like the agents that are like, oh, well, you should definitely buy a house. I'm like, do you have a house? They're like, no. It's like one of those
living
things.
in my mom's basement.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because I have that same conversation with people, and I think, and it all comes down to the individual, but I feel, and I don't know how to correctly identify what the thought is in my head, but basically, when you're just starting off in life, people, I feel like they want to jumpstart 40 years in the future.
Totally.
Like they want the white picket fence. They want this beautiful house on acreage in like the fancy, nice suburb that they love. Mm-hmm. And I feel like most of my conversation is like, guys, no offense, but why would you deserve that? And it's not that they don't actually deserve it or anything like that. It's just like what work and what sacrifice has been made for that to happen. And I try to help people see that if they want that, that is a very realistic dream that you could work towards. And it's not actually unattainable, like most people are claiming that it is.
Yeah.
It's just every kind of dream has a sacrifice that you have to make attached to it. And I think most of the sacrifices are actually pretty heavy, like whether it's like starting a business or doing all these things, like it could be a huge sacrifice. But of all of the sacrifices that could happen, I feel like house hacking is just such an easy one.
I agree.
Like, I feel like it's like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And again, I think for my wife and I, it was before we even had kids. So it was a quick, easy decision. Again, I maybe this is a good question for you guys. What would you say is the average age for first-time home buyers right now? Are they usually probably mid to late 20s with kids?
I love this question. Love it.
I think we all know the average age like that people keep talking about is like 37, 38. A lot of our clients are usually second-time home buyers in the late 20s, early 30s.
Mm-hmm.